my father's funeral because my dad died, when I was young. And it was the worst thing that could have happened. I was so close to him and so deeply in love with the human that he was. So then we're going to the cemetery. We go to the cemetery. Now, my dad had various strengths of heart attacks, but he had his first at 33. By 59, he had 17. Some were bigger than others. He clinically died 11 years before his actual death, and they brought him round, and, Even on the day he died, he had 2. So this was a guy who had a psychological advantage. His body was not up for it, but he was able to overcome all of this. So on the last day, he had to have 2. So anyway, we're at the funeral. We're at the cemetery. Now, my dad is not a tall man. He's of average height. Let's call him 5'7", 5'8", max. They're lowering the coffin. There's the mound of dirt. They're lowering the coffin. It doesn't fit. The coffin, which is, let's call it average if you want to be generous, doesn't fit in the hole. He was not a basketball player.
Bullfits.
I turn to my brother and say, even when he's dead, he won't go. Right? So I go over to see what the problem is with this. What was I going to do? Laser cut the hole with my eyes?
Yeah.
What was I going to do by looking at this? Fix it? Get a shovel? I don't know what I was going to do, but I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And I trip over the mound of dirt. Just stumble.
Wow.
To say trip, just to stumble.
Yeah.
Those Greek women, Plakosan, Panomo, my auntie, who had the worst taste and the cheapest, taste ever, digs into a bag, pulls out her perfume, starts spraying it like smelling salts in my eyes and my nose, trying to revive me. And they're all screaming because, we know occasionally at a Greek funeral, they'll try to jump in. Yeah. The final moment.
Yeah.
It's the final countdown. So my Thea thinks I was going to deliberately try chuck myself into this small hole. And I'm trying to tell them I'm fine, I just stumbled. And of course I was drinking this tacky perfume, So, we bring theatre to everything. Yeah. We can't help it.
Were the grave diggers around? Because normally they hang around.
I think that there was a pause. They got the chainsaw out. I don't know what they did. But suddenly it was lowered. But it was an anticlimax of an anticlimax. You know what I'm saying? And this was the worst moment. That whole, few days. Yeah. And yet all I could see was comedy everywhere.